Welcome, everybody. I'm Ogden City Mayor Ben Nadolski, and I am here at the Ogden Way podcast, where we tell Ogden stories by telling the stories of Ogden's people. And boy, do we have a special guest today. His name is Ron Pippin, but some of you might know him as the Skeleton Man, right?
Right. The Ogden Skeleton Man.
The Ogden Skeleton Man.
We got to separate that, you know.
Yeah, not just any Skeleton Man. I mean, don't confuse Ogden Skeleton Man with other towns' Skeleton Man, right?
Right.
This is ours. Ron Pippin, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Don't let that thing hit you in the face.
Okay.
You're welcome moving around. Okay, for those of you that don't know what that means, I think there's probably a chunk of people that know Skeleton Man. Tell us who you are and why that's a big deal in Ogden.
It was during, you want me to tell the story?
Sure.
Okay. So I started this back in 2020 when COVID was, big thing COVID was going on. We were shut down. I was really bored. And I know that I've heard many stories about people who are really depressed. And so I thought, well, what can I do that, one, maybe lift some spirits, pun intended. And, and maybe, hopefully maybe I can lift mine as well. So I started planning out, I think I had 6 skeletons total. I went to Home Depot, right? And picked up some of their skeletons and started setting up scenes in my yard. I think the very first one I did was just two skeletons sitting in the yard, waving on chairs, one wearing a ball cap, one wearing a big brim like a lady's hat. And that's how it started. So it was just really simple, and then I just changed scenes every single day.
Okay, so there you go. If this is starting to ring a bell for anybody, Ron is Skeleton Man of Ogden. He sets up an entire scene of skeletons in his front yard for every October, and every single day for the month he changes the scene.
Right.
And it's become a little bit of a cult following, I guess you could say. People drive by to come see what you've done for the day.
Yeah, it started, I think, I didn't advertise it or anything anywhere. I just started setting it up, and people started driving by, and more people started driving by. And, the first year there was quite a few people. I think it just got around as more of like a little local neighborhood kind of thing. And the next year it grew. And the third year I had a couple TV stations and newspaper write-ups, and people are telling me they were sending it not only to their family in other states, but over in other countries. So it just kind of got bigger, and pretty soon, after 3 or 4 years, it was like it kind of looked like a Chick-fil-A drive-in. We drive through. You had a big long line of people. So it's just been fun.
It's gonna be like the Christmas lights with all the arranged music, right?
Right. I haven't got that. Got that fancy yet.
But the lines of people that are coming by, tuning in your radio, see the Skeleton Man. But anyway, the funny thing is that Ogden's made up of so many eclectic personalities and people, and
for sure.
And that's really what makes Ogden such a beautiful place, is just the beautiful people and the beautiful personalities, and that just sort of collectively makes up the spirit of our city, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I love the way you talk about, because it sounded like the why that started this for you was about uplifting people's spirits, right? To lift people's spirits at a time where people were down, including maybe yourself a little bit, right? We were all going through it right at that time. And there's this human tendency to try and, like, if you read the headlines and stuff, and this is something that I combat in this job, is there's always somebody that wants to put you down. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of people tearing each other down. There's plenty of critics out there in the work that I'm doing or not doing, and they're not looking at what we're doing to lift and to build and to create and to impact. You know what I mean? So I love that you have that mindset of, what can I do to help lift others? Because in lifting others, I think I can lift myself too. Yeah. And it gets back to this mindset, and the Ogden Way, frankly, is about service and service to others, and service to God. It's most selfless service to others, is selfish service for yourself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's a cycle. Totally. It's a cycle. We rely on each other. Yeah. But that's how we become community. And you've made this into such an important community thing that it's something people look forward to, right?
Yeah, I hope so. I've really tried to get the community involved. I've tried to ask for help. And I've had people come help set up and take down and give me about this time of year, I start getting lots of texts and social media messages, and people. There's other people around the country that set up stuff in their yard with skeletons, and so I get lots of those pictures, and some of them I've already seen, and every once in a while there's one like that's really good. And so I'll integrate one of those in. And so sometimes I steal ideas, but no, I take that back. Sometimes I borrow somebody else's ideas.
Borrow inspiration.
Yes, but I know that other people like mine. I've got some that have kind of went a little viral, and I know that other people doing the same thing. But it's like they were always borrowing from somebody else, and as long as it's like everybody's lifting somebody else up, like why would I care? Yeah, it's not a big deal.
So are you making any money doing this?
No.
Okay, I just had to ask because there's people wondering.
So that's one thing. Like I've had many people say, like, Ron, why aren't you monetizing this? And to me, it's just like that would just take away the fun.
Exactly.
It would take away the fun, and I think it brings on a different vibe when you're saying, "Oh, sponsored by," and I own another business, so that's gone through my mind many times. But it's just like, you know what? If they want to know what I do, they can go to my social media. They can figure it out pretty darn quick.
So, Ron, I knew the answer to the question. I didn't ask it because I'm personally skeptical. I asked it because that's the first thing maybe not the first thing, but it's something that people are going to ask, and it really gets to the point that it defeats the purpose for you.
It does.
Because the purpose is the giving and the lifting, not the making of the money.
Right.
Right?
Right. And it's not just defeats the purpose for me, but it defeats the purpose for everybody.
Right.
Because now it's like, oh yeah, he's just trying to make some money off of this. You always hear the thing of like, why is somebody doing something? Well, follow the money. Well,
sure.
There isn't no money to follow here. It's just like, I'm just doing it because it's fun most of the time. And everybody else is having fun
most of the
too.
time. Yeah. Okay, but if you defeat the purpose for others, it's defeating the purpose for you too.
For sure. Yeah.
Because serving others and helping and lifting others is your purpose.
Right. Right. So like if everybody else, if I got back, this is the most stupid thing I've ever seen, and that's all I got, I wouldn't do it anymore. But once in a while, I do get that, and it's, why are you doing this? And of course, I'll tell them why.
I never hear that in this job, Ron.
But it's a little different. If you were, you know what you should do? Use skeletons.
Sounds like I won't have time of knowing how much work you put into this. I don't know if I have time to do that.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it starts. It's really an all-year project, and I think last year I built a big. It's about a 6-foot skeleton head that I put on my roof, and I made the arms and the hands, but I didn't get the arms up, but I got the hands up on the edge of the roof. So I'm hoping I can maybe figure out how to get them to work this year. But like that was about a 2-month project just to carve the head. I finally ended up having to take my chainsaw, and I carved the head with the chainsaw. So I learned to be a chainsaw.
Styrofoam or something?
Out of big styrofoam blocks. Yeah.
See, so you're learning new things along the way.
I am.
Okay, so let's unpack this. This is a year-round endeavor that you're putting thought into this year-round. You're preparing and thinking about your themes and your ideas.
Right.
You sounds like you have a schedule for every day of the month.
Most of the time I have a schedule. There are once in a while, especially like when it rains or if it's windy, or then the schedule has to get thrown out, and so sometimes there are times when either what I have scheduled for that day won't work, or I didn't get the props built, or I don't have the costumes or something that go with it, and so I get up and I say to my wife, I don't know what I'm doing today, and so we throw stuff together. But I was actually talking to my wife the other day about throwing stuff together. And she goes, sometimes those are the most fun ones you do, though. So usually when I have something planned, it's what I have originally in my head is not what it ends up at. Because when I start setting things up, like the creative juices start flowing, and I change it. And I always try to put a little something in there that has a little humor in it. And so sometimes you have to look for it. Like sometimes it's just a little, one of the small skeletons somewhere or something. Not all the time. But probably a good 50% of the time, there's something with a little humor somewhere there in the scene.
So that you got to sit and stare at it for a while.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
Now that I know that, I'll stop longer.
Okay, good.
You don't live very far from me, so I see your stuff.
Awesome.
Routinely, but maybe I'll stop and spend more time. So remember that. But you've got a set of kind of guidelines or rules for yourself.
I do.
Things that you believe in, like not monetizing it. But you stick to them.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And
I set that up at the very beginning. So I have 3 rules. One is non-political, although I kind of broke that once. And that was, I think when you were in the election, and I just I totally disparaged you. No, I'm kidding.
Well,
Like,
get in line, man.
get in line. Like, what I did was I got signs, the vote signs and for each candidate, and I put it out there with a skeleton next to it. So it was just
Okay.
like it was just.
But
like,
it was each candidate.
it was like completely
Yeah.
like both sides of the fence, even some independents. I had like everybody out there that I could get the signs for, and so I put that out and just to remind people to vote.
There you go.
So that was the closest I got to breaking that rule.
That's about as apolitical as you can get in politics.
Right,
I think, right.
I actually think of a lot of things that I could use, but it breaks that rule. So I don't do that. So because I want it to be all inclusive. So I don't want people to feel like they're being discriminated against or disparaged in some way.
Sure. This
So,
is not an us against them, right?
Right.
Which you might find surprising that I feel that way a lot in politics.
Shocker.
This is more about common sense,
Right.
and solutions than it is about us against them. So,
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that's the first rule. The second rule is I don't want any signs. And when I say signs, like I see some other places that have put some skeletons up, and they kind of explain what the scene is, and I just figure that if I have to explain what I did, then I didn't do it right. So I have to do something different. So that's just another one. I just don't like signs. I think I mentioned that there was. I had a couple sponsors. I did not get paid for it, but a couple people that sponsored some businesses. And so I did let them put up a sign with like a QR code and say sponsored by. So that's the closest I've got to breaking that one.
And when you say sponsored, basically you let them help you.
Yeah. They came out and helped me, and they brought some props.
Built in their theme.
Yeah. So so one was in a restaurant, and they came out and brought some props and brought some branded stuff, had hats that went on the skeleton. So it was a little bit branded for them, but it was still a restaurant scene, and it turned out pretty cute. So that was cool.
Cute. There you go.
And my third rule is escaping me. So I must not
be
throw that one
important,
out, right?
It must not be that important.
Oh, see, no signs, no political,
No money.
Well, no money, but it also has to be family friendly.
Oh, family friendly. There you go.
Family friendly. So the family friendly is like G, maybe PG. There's been, and I try not to do like really gruesome. Like once in a while, I'll do some Halloween type themes, but nothing like really gruesome. So like if it's R-rated stuff, like I don't want to. So I've had it where like a lawnmower or a snowblower was running over a skeleton. There's stuff shooting out of the snowblower and pieces of skeleton around, so, but I don't have like any blood and guts and, things spraying out. It's just like, I want it to be so kid friendly so people can come by and enjoy it and
well, that and
not scare them to death,
That and technically there is no blood and guts when it comes to skeletons.
Good point.
Right.
I mean, exactly.
If we're being a realist here. Okay, so what are some of the themes? What are some of the themes or props or that you've done in the past that have been the most popular?
Probably the most popular is my selfie day, and I did that on a whim one day. I think it was one of those days that I couldn't figure out what to do, and so I brought out a chair, put a little broke this sign rule. As I put a sign on the chair that said, "You sit selfie day. You sit here," and I put a bunch of skeletons around it, like they were. Put the arms around the chair and around the person, and had a bunch of them, doing this kind of thing. And
so you're giving a little instruction for anybody that maybe came by to sit there and take a selfie with them.
Sit here and take a selfie.
Okay.
And so that got really popular, and so then I made it bigger. So I've got even a bigger plan for this year for selfie day, and I might have to just advertise when that's going to be, so people can plan on coming by and taking a selfie. So that's been really fun. I had one that went a little viral on social media that I had. It's about a 5 or 6 foot dog, and my giant 12-foot skeleton had a rope on it, like taking it for a dog. But in its other hand, it had in a cellophane bag so you could see through it the emoji poop. So that I made out of styrofoam.
Okay.
So I just carved it out of styrofoam, painted up, and it looked great. It looked just like the emoji poop. And then I put a song behind it that I think really helped. It was something about dog poop, and it was really funny song. That one took off, and so that one was really popular. And one of the ones that I really like is my wife has a '71 Ford truck, and I posed the big one like it was lifting the truck up, and I had the front of the truck lifted up, and other skeletons that were underneath fixing it. So that was my personal favorite. I really enjoyed that one because I like the truck.
Did you have some jacks underneath it just in case?
I did. I had I had jacks and
just checking.
Yeah, that's why it was up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So sounds like these are very serious content then. I mean, what did your wife think when she came home and you were sitting there carving a poop in the house for how many hours?
Well, don't do it in the house, because if you carve styrofoam, like it's everywhere.
Okay, you're right. The last time I carved a poop in my house, it was very messy. You're right.
Yeah,
I recall.
It's probably
that
a little different. That might be a little more,
okay.
more reasonable.
Good to know.
Yeah. So no, I don't do. I do mount in the garage or outside, and she doesn't say anything. She's very, very supportive.
How many years has this been going on?
6. This will be my 6th year.
This will be your 6th year.
Number 6.
And your wife's in on this. She's supportive and all in.
Very supportive. She helps. She's very busy. She's very busy in her career, and so she does help. She'll get up early with me as long as she doesn't have early morning meetings. She'll help me set up. She'll help me take down, and she helps me with ideas. So it's really nice to bounce ideas off of somebody, because there's been one that I wanted to do for a couple of years, and she kept telling me, "But your rule," and it breaks one of the rules. And by this year, I took it off my list. So I keep a running list of all new ideas, and so every year I'll go through it and add some to it and take one off, and that one finally came off because it broke a rule, and it was like seriously broke one of the rules.
So you've got these rules. You've talked about instances where you've broken them, but is it breaking them that actually helped reinforce and create the rules in the first place? Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, it does. It doesn't explain. So the thing is the rule that I made it for originally was I wanted to make sure that I didn't have to explain the scene. But sometimes it's just like if I'm telling people to sit here and take a selfie, because a lot of people are very respectful, which has been really nice. They've been really respectful. I haven't had anything broken. I haven't had anything stolen. I do have multiple cameras around, so just in case you're thinking of that, like, I'll get your picture. So it's been really respectful. Other than somebody doing an inappropriate scene change for me,
right?
But I caught that in about an hour or two. Changed it back.
Did you catch him? Who did it?
I could see him on the camera, but like it was like this is kid stuff. Probably something I would have done when I was a kid. So I didn't say anything to anybody. Right. I just changed it around.
Okay.
So, but I think other than that, like I think what I've done helps reinforce the rules, but it sort of bends them a little bit. But I'm trying not to get outside of the original intent of the rules.
Okay, so since we were talking about your wife too, I got to ask, is one of the rules no vacations in October?
It is no vacations in October. She literally she's done this I think twice, where she was planning a vacation in October. She has one for next year, and then what I told her is I can't go, and she goes, seriously? And I go, yes, seriously, I got. And she goes, you have skeletons? I said, yes. And so we've talked about maybe getting some people to help in lieu of me being there. I think if I had the right help and enough help, maybe we could make that work. But right now, I'm tied to the house in October.
Tied to the house.
I am tied to the house in October.
During the day too, you got to monitor things and
almost
check-ins.
Almost, yeah.
You got your camera system. You probably check in on.
It is, and it's monitored at the police station, Ogden Police. They're involved.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't know this. Okay, that's good to know. I'm not criticizing it. It's funny because I was actually thinking about when, first of all, when you had the kids rearranging them, but I was like, if you've ever done like a police or a fire theme or anything like that.
No. Have I done a police or fire theme? No, because I need I've done a pilot and I've done military, but I haven't done a police or fire theme, which I'd love to, because my my dad was a sheriff in Los Angeles for a long time, and back when the rules were really different. And I have a daughter that's a firefighter, and I have friends that are firefighters. So I would love.
Where's she a firefighter at?
Ogden City.
Yes. Okay, it's funny. Small story for the audience, but we had met before, and we were both like, "Who introduced us?"
Yeah,
and it was our mutual friend Nate Culford that introduced us.
He did. And
anyway, it's a fun. We're like supposed to be the big city of northern Utah, but it's really a small town when you break it down.
Yeah,
and
it doesn't take long. You know the rule when you say you're only seven people away from just about anybody in the world. Well, if you're living in Ogden, you're probably only 1 or 2 away from somebody.
Right. You're like 2 or 3 degrees separation from Skeleton Man at all times.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah. So when you say you went viral, how viral are we talking here? Like,
million.
1 million views?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's viral.
Yeah. That's why I say I kind of went a little viral, but know.
You're being modest, of course, right? But
most of them don't go that viral. I mean, I do get thousands of views on them, but it's, it's like, it's views. It's just, and I don't monetize my channels. I don't monetize anything. So it's just like, it's just fun. It's just fun to see how many views go through and how many comments come through. And I try to comment on most everything, but on that one, like I had tens of thousands of comments, and I actually had to hire one of my daughters because I was getting not on that one, but on some other things in my other business. I was getting some viral videos, and it's just I couldn't answer them all.
Couldn't keep up.
So I had to have somebody help me. So I paid her to help me out with the answering.
Gotcha. So and you talked about your other business. You're in real estate,
mortgage,
mortgage broker, or
a mortgage broker.
And you also have an office across the street.
I do.
Right?
I have an office right across the street. You look out this window right here, you'll probably see my office.
There you go. So on the east side of Washington Boulevard, you purchased one of the buildings. You went and did a lot of work to revitalize it, right? A lot of work.
It looks really amazing. It was in really bad shape when I bought it, and I bought that during COVID as well. And so during the Ogden or during the skeleton stuff, like we were also renovating a building.
You are obviously you're a big personality. You're an eclectic guy in your own way, but you're an Ogden guy.
I am an Ogden guy.
It's clear to me how much you love the city.
I graduated from Weber State.
Right.
Yep. So
there you go. I did too.
So did my wife. We graduated the same day.
So did me and my wife. That's where we met. But I love how you just love the city and the things that you do. You're inspired and driven by your love and passion for our community.
I do.
I mean, that's why you bought that building.
Yeah.
You saw an opportunity for a building that's old, has old bones, but a beautiful story and history, and you wanted to save it, and you wanted to work in that space.
I did.
Right, and you wanted to be in a downtown, right?
I did.
And so you did.
Well, exactly what I did.
That's exactly. You knew what you wanted, and you went and you did it.
We did.
And then the same thing applies to the skeletons. You knew what you wanted to do. You wanted to lift your spirit and lift other spirits, and you went and did it.
Yeah. Didn't intend for it to get like as big as it's gotten. I was thinking a year or two,
Sure.
And we'll call it good. But as it grew and people started asking me, "Are you going to do this next year?" I don't know. And they just like our kids, we can't get I literally had this the other day. We can't get our kids to go up, to get up for school except in October. They can't wait to get up and walk past your house. So it's like,
there you go.
So,
yeah.
So somewhere along the lines, I'm helping somebody.
Yep. So they're probably on their way to Polk Elementary.
Yes, right? Probably, yes.
Maybe some coming to Wasatch, but I think you're mostly
because I think I get them going both ways.
They're flowing more toward Polk.
Kind of funny. There's even high schoolers. So Ogden and St. Joe's.
Sure.
I have school buses that reroute a little bit because I don't see them normally come past my house. But I have at least 2 school buses that come past and slow down.
Gotcha.
So the kids can see, and then they get going.
That's cool. That's great.
It is fun.
All right. So what's the plan for this year, or is that a secret? You got to tune in to find out. Drive by to find out.
Yeah,
right?
Pretty much. We're still fine tuning. I'm still building.
Okay.
I'm building a prop.
Is October 1st the first day?
October 1st, the first day. Sometimes I'll put one out I'll put one out, to just kind of go like peeking
teaser.
around a bush or something, just so that like people go, oh yeah, that's
it's
tomorrow.
on the way. Okay.
Yeah.
Little teaser.
Yeah.
All right. So, what's the long-term plan, or is there one?
I don't have a long-term plan. It's just like when I think when the momentum stops and when it just becomes old, or I become older, then I don't know. I'll have to maybe turn the reins over to somebody else.
Okay. So let's make sure that doesn't happen. I mean, we've got a responsibility in the city to make sure that doesn't happen to you, right?
If they can help me not get older, I'm all in.
Well, I think it has an effect of making sure that your spirit doesn't age.
Yeah.
Right? Remember getting back to lifting spirits.
Yeah.
It's more than just our physical health, right?
I agree. I 100% agree. Yeah.
So how long have you been in Ogden?
Not as long as you would think, but I think I've been in Ogden for 10 or 12 years.
10 or 12 years?
Yeah.
What brought you to Ogden?
We lived in North Ogden. I lived there for probably 15 years. Moved out to Roy for 5 years, and it was just time. We had a big house, and it was time to downsize a little bit. And my wife wanted to move to Ogden, and she kind of knew about the area she wanted to move. And we started driving around that neighborhood, and people were out talking. They were walking their dogs. They were waving. They were like, it was just very, very friendly. And she goes, "This is where I want to be." And when she found the house we're in, she walked up, she saw the house. We actually looked at a house down the street from us, and we went back for a second time, and this house now had a for sale sign in it. And she told the realtor, "I want to see that house." And he goes, "Well, let me see if I can get an appointment." She says, "I'll wait." And so we went in and saw that house, and she walked. The first thing she did, she walked up, and there's like a covered porch. And she walked up and she saw the hooks for a porch swing, and she looked out and she saw the unobstructed view, and she goes, "This is it." I said, "You haven't even seen the house yet." And the garage had a little tiny 1-car garage, and I'm a car guy. I like to rebuild cars. And I went, "That's not going to work for me." And she goes, "This is the house." And I said, "You want to see the inside?" So we did. She went through it, and I said, "The garage sucks. The rest of the house is great." And so, a couple of years later, we built a much bigger garage.
Bigger garage. So you're on Fillmore in 20.
Right, almost the corner of 20, just north of the corner of 26 and Fillmore.
Okay.
So if you go up to 26 and Fillmore in October, you're going to see the skeletons.
There you go. We used to live on Maryland Drive, which is
cool.
2750.
Yeah.
So we were pretty close.
Right there.
You're into cars. What kind of car are you rebuilding?
Last one I did was a 73 Corvette. So
327?
had to rebuild. What's that?
With 327? Or is it a 350?
Yes.
Yeah?
No, I think it was a 350.
350 by that?
350 small block. I had to rebuild the engine. Had to do a little bit on some of the other stuff, but
did you bore it out at all, or
what's that?
Did you bore it out when you rebuilt it?
No. I didn't have to bore it out. I just left it stock. I put a little bit of a cam in it, so when it would run, it would lope a little bit.
Oh yeah, gotta get the
lope,
right?
Fun, yeah.
Edelbrock carburetor.
I just left the stock one on there.
Stock?
I think it was a quadrijet. So I've done a 66 Chevelle. I've done a 66 El Camino. I did a Porsche. I've done 55 Chevy. I've done quite a few cars. But they're fun.
So besides the Porsche, you're a Chevy guy though.
Mostly I'm a Chevy guy.
El Camino. What did you say?
A Chevelle.
A Chevelle, Vet,
Correct.
and a Bel Air.
And a Bel Air. They're all Chevys.
All Chevs.
Yeah.
So you didn't know you were a Chevy guy?
No, I know I'm a Chevy guy. Okay. I just didn't think you'd draw those lines, but yeah. I'm a Chevy guy. Porsche was fun, but I didn't. It was another one of those ones that I didn't love it. It was an older one, and I don't know if you know what a 930 is. I put a 930 update on it. Yeah. It was a 911. It had a big wheel tail and
on the tail end.
Yeah,
with the big fin scoop. What
the big scoop on the back and the big fender flares, and so it looked like a 930. So it was really fun. It was a really fast car.
I bet
it was a really fast car.
My first car was a '64 Ford Falcon.
Oh, nice.
My dad had a '63 Ford Falcon. He had the it wouldn't be a super sport. That was a Chevy thing, but it was the sport model with the floor shifter.
Yeah.
That was our family car when we were little. And then Mom made him sell that and get a station wagon. He's held it against her ever since. But so I got my grandma's 64 Ford Falcon with a 3 on the tree. So it was the straight 6 though.
Yeah.
Single barrel carb. I had to fix the carburetor
that must have been
constantly.
a screaming one.
Screaming?
It's screaming. Must be screaming fast.
Topped out at 45 comfortably. You could get it to 53, but it rattled a lot. It took me 3 days to drive it here from Phoenix when I moved up here for college.
Floored.
Floored. Took me 3 days to drive it here, going 45 the whole way, and I slept on the hood all 3 days. So,
well, that sounds like it was not fun.
It was a blast.
Was it?
Yep. I ate Ritz crackers, canned cheese, and sardines.
Cool.
The whole trip.
Yeah.
That was the day, right?
Yeah, that was that back in the day when you wouldn't worry about it.
Right. Anyway, but it's not about me. It's about you.
No, I love stories like this. I could talk that all day long.
I know. We're talking about I love to talk about the people of the city. It's just fun to understand what makes people tick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you've got a lot of passion and interest, whether it's cars, whether it's the mortgage industry or old buildings downtown. What is it about Ogden that just does it for you? Like, what grabs you about this city?
I think it's very diverse, and I have very diverse friends, and I try to keep my views kind of a little closer to myself, just because I have very diverse friendships.
Sure.
And I just don't want to, in today's environment, like you can just if they know you lean one way or the other, they can shun you. And so I just love my friends, and I just don't want them to. So I just kind of keep everything close. And unfortunately, that's everywhere. That's not just Ogden, but but I love the people. I love the downtown. The downtown is amazing. The people, that's what brought us to Ogden, is the people. Well, I think I just mentioned that, is like when you're walking around and people are waving at you.
Right.
And by the way, my wife, one of the jokes that my wife and I said just the other day is we have more friends than we ever thought we had in October. Because in October, people are waving at us and dropping off gifts and honking their horns and a little bit into November, but then after that, it's just back to just regular. But just even the regular, it's just the very, very friendly. It's a great neighborhood, great place to live.
One of the neatest things about Ogden, when you're the mayor, you get to host a lot of people that are coming here for certain things, and in fact, I had a guy that was in this chair. He was a kind of a world-renowned, he's an economist, but he's also a sustainability guy. And he mentioned it. People mention it all the time. We just landed the Rain Dance Film Festival, and they mentioned it, that when they came looking for a site that they wanted to do in the United States, they first narrowed it down by state, and then they narrowed it down by cities. And they toured a number of states and a number of cities, and when they came to Ogden, they felt different. They felt welcomed. They felt the kindness from people. They felt like a genuine enthusiasm, a sense of place, a sense of purpose, some sense of togetherness. And I think that's kind of what you're describing, is there's this kindness in our people, that we're very warm and welcoming and embracing people.
Yeah.
Right.
I've heard other people on other social media platforms, and they kind of, I think Ogden really gets a bad rap from stuff from a long time ago.
Correct.
And I think it just carries over, and people just say, oh, you don't want to go to Ogden. It has all this bad stuff happen there. And it's we just don't have that. I have a son that lives just one block off of Washington Boulevard. He has zero issues.
Right.
So, and I know they say, oh, you're right down in the downtown area. Oh man, what kind of problems you have? He goes, I don't have any. So it's just it's just not that. It gets a bad rap. I really love Ogden.
I do too. And just this morning, me and my police chief, Jake Supi, sat down with the editorial board at the Standard Examiner, and we were talking about police work. It was over an hour interview, and they're just hitting us with all kinds of questions. And we love that setting because we just have so much that we want to share.
Yeah.
And we don't have anything to hide, so there's no questions that are out of bounds. You know what I mean? And the topic came up about Ogden's reputation. Mm-hmm. And there's a totally different reputation for the people that live in the state of Utah versus the people that come from outside of the state to visit or to see us. And people that come from outside of Utah have no idea about this quote reputation.
Yeah.
And it kind of drives us nuts that people think that we're this quote crime capital of Utah or something. And we can vouch for the reductions that we've shown. So since 2016, we're 55% reduction in type 1 crime. And just in this year alone, we're at 12.2% reduction so far year to date. And if that trend continues, we might even be pushing 20%.
It's funny you bring that up. It's because I just read an article just the other day. Of course, it's one of these big magazines, and they were showing the crime areas in each state. Mm-hmm. And in Utah, Ogden wasn't anywhere on that map.
So did you know that our type 1 crime rate, which is a good way to describe violent crime, is the same as Sandy City? So that's not something that people would have ever thought was the case from where we came from. Yeah. Yet our reputation is based on the past, right?
Yeah, it is. It is based on the past.
I know, but as you know, and as you're living and experiencing, that's not what we are anymore. And we want to be known for what we are and who we are. But at the same time, it's like, fine, if you don't believe in us, it's fine. We believe in ourselves. You can pound sand. We'll make this work ourselves. Right. You just stay out. We got this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Like, there's lots of places to live in Utah. If you don't want to come to Ogden, don't come to Ogden.
Yeah. If you want to come and visit, we'd love to have you. Yeah. We'll embrace you. We're very warm and welcoming people. But if you don't want to, stay home. We'll enjoy our greatness by ourselves. Yeah. Right? Yep. Like, it's just an amazing town, and it's people like you that make it amazing.
Well, thank you.
I really appreciate your spirit, your drive, just your prioritization of others, your sense of service and to giving and to help lift and make other people happy, to bring joy to the world, right?
Yeah, that should be a song.
Joy to, it should be. It should be a ride at Disneyland or something, right? Anyway, that's the difference between Ogden and everywhere else. I think that just makes us special. It makes us more community. And it's fun to have that sense of community and that fabric in a city setting. We're not Chicago or LA. We're not that size. Thankfully, we're not those. No. No offense. Your dad was a sheriff at the LA County.
Yeah, he was.
Sheriff's Department.
But there's a reason why we moved out of LA.
Right. We just have something really special here. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that you recognize it and that you're adding to it.
Oh,
right.
Thank you.
Whether it's in your work and you're reclaiming a building and restoring it and helping it survive, to what you're doing to lift people's spirits.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
No, thank you.
Okay.
On behalf of Ogden City and the 90,000 people that live here, thank you. That's one of the things I get to do.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
No, thanks for being great. And we like to wrap up our shows with a call to action.
Sure.
I call it.
Yeah.
And I think it's really appropriate for our call to action that on October 1st, all the way through October 31st, that you swing by about 26th Street in Fillmore and check out the theme each day. And make sure that you stop for a little while and look at the detail, because there might be a little bit of a hidden gem in there.
But they're not always just so you.
Some days there will be, some days there won't be, right?
Yeah, but often there is.
Yeah, but instead of just driving by and having a chuckle and leaving, let's not forget to remember the work that went into it. Let's honor the gift that's being given to us by driving by, enjoying it, and then recognizing the effort that went into it. Pay attention to the detail. See if you can figure out the story and the joke and the humor that might be built into it. And recognize that was the work that's done by somebody. And remember that we don't just, communities aren't just created out of nowhere. They're built. And we're in the business of building community. I'm not in the business of Washington, D.C., partisan, this, that, or the other. We're in the business of building a community and building a city. And that is made to happen. It's made to happen by people. It's made to happen by you. And it's made to happen by you. So thank you, Skeleton Man, Ron Pippin.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for everything you do to show up for Ogden every day.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, that is our episode of the Ogden Way podcast. I'm Ogden City Mayor Ben Nadolski, sitting with Skeleton Man, Ron Pippin, our friend, our neighbor, our member of our community. Until next time, do great things.